Hey guys, what's up? So today is going to be a story time about how I stole my Gamertag from an Xbox magazine. Now, this happened when I was in 8th grade, I believe, and it happened in a science class. So we're just gonna jump right into the story. So when I was in 8th grade, basically what happened was I had this friend and his name was Raul. So one day Raul came into class and he had an Xbox magazine and he's like, hey, do you want to see it? After he had looked through. So I was like, yeah, of course I want to see it. He knew that we were all into gaming at that time. So of course, like a true G, he's gonna give it to me when he finished reading it, right? So he gives it to me and I'm flipping through the pages, not paying attention to what's going on in class. And it's funny because back then I didn't care about science at all. It was I don't know what kind of science class it was just a random science class. And now it's I absolutely love science and I'm a bio major, so it's funny how those things work out. Anyway, back to the story. So I'm flipping through the pages and everything seems pretty standard for an Xbox magazine. And I'm flipping, I get towards the middle, where the headline story is right in the middle. So we get towards the middle and there's this huge, I think it was 4 or 5 pages of this story. And the story was guys, girl gamers and how they're treated in the gaming industry or whatever. This was definitely around the time when a lot of girls weren't gaming. So it was a big deal. Kind of, if you were a girl gaming back then. So I'm going through it and I'm reading it and stuff like that. So essentially the story was about how these guys that worked at Xbox magazine pretended to be girls, got girl accounts and everything, and they went basically and played Halo 2. I'm not sure if they played any games, but I'm pretty sure it was Halo 2. And I love Halo 2. Girls, Halo 2. Putting it together. So I'm definitely reading the story. So I'm reading the story and these guys they went through some crazy stuff. They said people were telling them to get back in the kitchen and stuff like that. And personally I find stuff like that funny, so I thought that it was a funny article. And yeah, so people were cause sometimes treating them stupidly because they thought they were girls, but you're really talking to a dude. Come on, how many of us know that 9 times out of 10 when you're playing with somebody online that has a girl account, it's a dude? That's the reality of it. So, one of the guys, one of his names that he chose for his characters on Halo 2 was Cortana. I'm gonna insert the picture somewhere in this video. I'm gonna show you where it was Cortana. The thing was that the Cortana he had for his name on Halo 2 didn't have a space. It was just straight Cortana, just like that. So I'm oh, that's a cool gamer tag because I absolutely love Halo. Absolutely love it. Just love Halo. I absolutely love Halo. And of course, Cortana is one of my favorite characters. So naturally, it just stuck with me. So after that, I was hey, that's a cool gamer tag, but it's it's cool. Move along. Okay, so fast forward. We're gonna fast forward a couple months. I think so. Anyway, it was around the time that the Xbox 360 was first coming out, right? So me and my dad, my sister, we camped out that night. We waited overnight just like everybody else, and we were the second people in line. And I remember this dude. There was the third person in line. He's if you buy an Xbox for me, I'll give you the money and I'll pay you to buy the Xbox. But I was I can't do it because number one, I'm only 12 or 13 years old, right? And then number two, it's if I did that, one of his friends wasn't going to be able to get one because they only had 14 in the store. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so yeah, we camped out overnight. We got it. And then after that, we went home and my dad was like, we're just gonna put the Xbox away, and then we're not gonna open it. We're gonna wake up in the morning, and then we're gonna open it, unbox it, everything. So I'm like,
yeah, let's do it. It's a game plan. I'm gonna go to sleep. You know, I'm gonna be ready in the morning, and we're gonna get our Halo 2 on. Because that's all I cared about. That's all I cared about playing was Halo 2.
So, up until that time, I didn't have a gamer tag. And I was playing under my dad's name, which was some stupid, like, 8-man or whatever. But he likes monkeys, so yeah, it was my dad's gamer tag. Anyway, so anytime before then, I really hadn't experienced any of, like, the stuff that so-called girls go through in gaming. Because I was playing under a pretty neutral, you know, gamer tag or whatever. So we wake up in the morning, right? And my dad is like, okay, let's open it. So we get there, we open it, all that stuff. He uploads his gamer tag, the 8-man or monkey man one. He uploads his gamer tag to the new Xbox from our original one. And then after that, my brother makes one. This was around when 360 first came out. I know a lot of you know this, but when the 360 first came out, you could start an Xbox Live subscription for 1 month for free. And like, I remember when people would create like 30 accounts because you didn't want to pay for Xbox Live, and it was like, if you just made a new gamer tag every month, it's like essentially you're not paying for it. And I'm pretty sure Microsoft caught on to that, because I was one of them, I'm not even gonna freaking lie. But so yeah, so it came time for me to pick my gamer tag, and I was like, okay, let me think of something. So I wanted a gamer tag that essentially like combined my love of Halo and something about being a girl. I know it's super typical. I'm embarrassed by it now, but when I was 13, I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. No lie. The first name I came up with was so freaking stupid. Like, oh my god. And the first name I came out with was, what was it? I think it was some gay, like, Halo princess or something like that. And of course, it's so generic. And it's like, every other chick is gonna have that name. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I type it in, and of course it's taken, as we all thought. In the middle of nowhere, it just like pops in my head. And it's like, Nicole, Cortana gal, you remember it from the Halo magazine? And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, no dude, there's no way that that name is gonna be available. So I'm just like, I'm gonna try it anyway. So I typed it in, but like, I don't like my gamer tags to be like crowded with like numbers and uppercase and lowercase and all that foolishness, because it gets like confusing. So I put Cortana space gal, whereas on the Xbox magazine picture, which I'm gonna show again, it's just Cortana gal. Anyway, I type in Cortana space gal, and like, it worked. And I was like, oh my god, this is it. We're gonna keep it. It's good. Yeah, we're Gucci. So I kept it, went through, got it, and like, I felt like a thief. No lie. I felt like a 13-year-old con. When I got the gamer tag and I actually started playing Halo, like, the fact that I stole this gamer tag didn't go unnoticed, because people noticed. You know, I don't even know how they, like, got Cortana gal when the guy on Xbox magazine, he didn't have a space in the name, and I put a space in the name. I would get random messages from people asking me how I got into Xbox magazine. They're like,
dude, how did you get into Xbox magazine? They're like, how did you, what did you do? Who did you know? All this other stuff. They're like, could you get me in?
At 13, like, you don't care. You think it's like the coolest thing in the world. So at 13, I'm like, oh my god, this is so freaking cool. So
yeah, I was like, I got into Xbox magazine. I sure did. I can't tell you how. I'm not gonna be able to tell you how, but I did, and you know, I'll let them know about you.
At 13, just like a little con artist that I was. But yeah, so people ask me, they would send me like random friend requests. It got so bad at one point that I didn't even have enough slots on my friends list to add everybody. So at one point I was just like, hey, I'll just play with you when I have time. Can't be friends, but if a spot opens up, I'll be able to, like, let you in, be cool. Cause like I thought it was fun. It was fun because honestly it was just a cool way to meet a lot of people, and the fact that they thought I somehow got into Xbox Magazine was super cool. When you're like 13 and people think you got an Xbox Magazine. But for a very long time, it was a couple months after the issue, or after I got my Xbox, that people kept messaging me, asking me to add them, asking me how I got an Xbox Magazine, if I could get them an Xbox Magazine and stuff like that. And I would get into open lobbies, like playing Big Team Battle or 4 versus 4, stuff like that. And people would recognize me in the lobbies and stuff like that. And
They'll be like, oh my god, Cortana, I saw your Gamertag in the Xbox Magazine issue.
even though I conned it as a little 12 or 13-year-old, and I stole the Gamertag, which, I feel bad about now that I'm grown. But at the time, it was open, so free game. Anyway, but yeah, so long story short, I stole it. It was in Xbox Magazine, and people did take notice. But the cool thing that came out of it was I met some really cool people over the course of that little stint, and those people became lifelong friends, no lie. Some of them I have known for a good 10 years. We are still friends to this day. So, in the end, don't steal gamer tags, guys. And don't steal them out of Xbox magazines. But some of the people you meet in the meantime can be extremely cool. And you could be friends with them for 10 years. 10 years. So, I'm going to start uploading some gaming videos. Just, if you want anything in particular, let me know. And I will try and get that. I was thinking about Slither, but I feel like everybody's done that. I'm definitely going to try and review the Xbox One S, whatever it is, when it comes out. I think I'm supposed to be getting it at the end of August. If you like this video, go ahead and make sure you give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe, because trust me, I'm gonna have a lot more coming. So there will be a lot more for Cortana Gal. Bye guys, have a good day.